why now? This team's been underachieving for a lot of this season. What was the tipping point in making this decision?
Yeah, there's never a good time, certainly, but we felt if there was a chance and an opportunity to be able to set things back on track and give us a consistent play heading into a really important time of the season, the playoffs, we felt now was the right time, and we have 21 games left, and we'll see how we respond.
Did the way you lost on Wednesday, the fashion of that loss, and maybe Chris's comments after the game push that decision at all, or was it kind of coming on its way?
Yeah, I think the way that we've lost several times over the past 6 weeks is all built towards it. You can't necessarily point to one game in being the straw that broke the camel's back, for lack of better words. So I think it's just been a combination of a style of play over the last 6 weeks or so that we said now's the time.
Did you ever feel like you'd be in this position coming into this season? Chris came in with a lot of credentials, the exhaustive search. He was your guy. Talent was there on the team on paper, and to be where we are today.
No, and I think when you hire somebody, it's with the best intentions, right, for them to be successful and the club and the organization to be successful. So certainly this was never part of our plan. He was our guy, and we believed in him wholeheartedly. Sometimes in a hockey season, things happen that are out of his control: injuries, suspensions, illnesses, and he's a great person and he's an excellent hockey coach. It just wasn't working right now.
This is 6 coaches in 10 years for the Rangers. Stability was one of the drawing points for recruits coming here. How do you feel about the amount of turnover this franchise has seen in the last decade?
Yeah, and I think some of the 6 have been promotions, right? Which is important to note, and certainly some of the changes have been made upon our own accord. I believe in Mike and the hockey operations department and the leadership that's there. Our ability to recruit and what we offer to young families from a player experience, a player development side, I will put up against any CHL team. It's a bump in the road today, and we'll get things back on track in the right direction to where we used to be.
Is Mike McKenzie's job safe?
Yes.
How do you feel about his performance as GM?
Mike has done an outstanding job, and you look at our roster, and that's Mike. And Mike has rarely lost a trade, I'd suggest, in his tenure as general manager here. He set out a very clear plan in early part of December to make us a competitive hockey team now that can potentially win the West, with preserving draft choices to help to build us for the future. And he's executed his plan. So I think Mike's done a good job.
Is this a playoff team in your mind?
Yes, 100%. And you go into rinks and you speak to other general managers, coaches, owners alike, and the very common thread, which maybe was part of what led us to the decision, is we're not a 9th place hockey team. We're not an 8th place hockey team. What are we? And we're trying to figure that out.
Why are you an 8th then?
I think it's been a combination of a little bit of everything, Josh. As I said, we've had injuries, we've had illness, we've had inconsistent play. I don't think you can point to just one thing, but we need to be consistent down the stretch here in our style of play to prepare us for the playoffs.
We've seen Mike take over before when the team was struggling, the team went on a run. Of course, there's always the story about the 2000 Devils who fired their coach 8 games ago and won the Stanley Cup. Is there hope that just a change of spark might just get this team rolling?
Absolutely, and that's why we did it. We believe that, there's been other indications of other teams in this league. Mississauga at one point a few years ago was dead last heading in and around this playoff time. Our team here that you referenced a few years ago, St. Louis Blues, the year they won the Stanley Cup, were in 8th or a dead last position. So as long as you have hope and you have great people and your players believe, we'll just take it day by day and go from there.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I just have a money question. So Chris is still on the payroll until his contract expires?
Yes, correct.
He's on 1 year for this season, and that's it?
2 more seasons.
2 more seasons after this one?
Correct.
Okay.